The key to your credibility. It all begins with finding what your crutch words are. And this can be a very daunting task. You need to navigate and avoid those hummocks of crutch words to becoming more capable and competent speaker, communicator, and leader. When you get rattled when you're speaking, whether you're nervous, distracted, you're at a loss for what comes next, it is easy to lean on those filler words. Like, These words can become crutches that diminish and distract from our message. To eliminate these words from your speech, you should consider and train yourself to replace them with pauses. In order to help train yourself to do this, I offer 3 different steps. Number 1, identify your crutch words and pair them with a specific action. As an example, every time you catch yourself saying like, tap your leg, or maybe you bring your forefinger and thumb together. Number 2, once you have become aware of your filler words, you need to force yourself to be silent. When it starts to come out of your mouth, catch yourself. And number 3, practice more than what you think you should. The optimal ratio of preparation to performance is 1 hour of preparation for every minute of every presentation. How much do you practice a presentation? As I continue through our presentation here today, I will be repeating these different steps in a couple of different ways. Hopefully, the different examples will resonate with each of you in a different way and help you to build your credibility. This is my ebullient style as a speaker, as a leader. I don't know how many of you remember Star Trek, the episode, The Trouble with Tribbles, where there's one tribble, boom, thousands just start popping up. And that's what it seems like with our filler words. It's hard to pay attention to a speaker when every third word is a filler, and it can be difficult to pinpoint exactly how those verbal crutches affect our experience. In my research, there was a study with substantial results. Not that I did the study, but I found some articles on these studies. Over 4,000 spoken communication samples were analyzed. These samples were used to identify how much speakers were relying on filler words and how those words affected the way their audiences perceived them. The study found that the excessive use of fillers can negatively influence audiences in many ways. There are 3 critical factors which negatively correlate with too many filler words. Number 1, to get your message across effectively, you have to keep your audience engaged. When you use excessive fillers, audiences are less likely to hang on to your every word because the fillers get in the way of the emotional stories or the fascinating research you're trying to share. Number 2, audiences want to believe that you are acting and speaking naturally, just the way that you might in a one-on-one conversation with them. And yes, most people use filler words in a casual conversation, but when you bring those with you to the microphone, it distracts from you and your core personality. The filler words make you sound nervous, distracted, disengaged, rather than authentic to who you are. If you want your audience to buy into your message, you have to make it clear, logical, and easy to follow. And unfortunately, filtering through crutch words to catch the important parts This requires more cognitive effort than audiences are willing to put forth. Too many filler words are likely to mean they are going to tune you out as a speaker, and they are going to focus on an easier cognitive task. Maybe they're going to start thinking about their to-do list. It's been a long day. Maybe they're going to start thinking what to make for dinner tomorrow night. The first step in changing any habit, whether it's biting your nails or peppering every sentence with it's awareness. To identify your crutch words, I ask that you try this simple exercise. Record and then watch and review a speech. As you listen, assess yourself. Determine what your vocal fillers are that you rely on the most. Once you are aware of your key filler words, you're likely going to start hearing these words in your day-to-day communication. Start pairing that crutch word with a small action. Every time you hear yourself saying like, maybe you want to tap your foot, tap your leg. Maybe you ask a family member or a close friend to monitor your filler words. Bring your attention to those filler words, maybe with a snap or a clap. Once you've become cognizant of your filler words, begin forcing yourself to be silent as you hear yourself about to let that filler word escape from your lips. Put that filter in from your head before it gets out of your mouth. Use that filter. An exercise that you can use to practice this is to record yourself talking, not as an actual speech, but at the end of the day, talk about what you did during your day, from when you woke up in the morning all the way to the end of the day. And then practice using pauses instead of filler words as you recall the day's events. Number 3, I cannot stress the importance of preparation enough. Nerves are one of the biggest reasons people overuse vocal fillers. The less prepared you are, the more nervous you'll be, and that will likely cause you to speak too quickly, trip over your words, and forget what's coming up next. Prepare and practice, prepare and practice, prepare and practice. Lather, rinse, repeat. I love the quote that I have on the screen here by St. Vince. Hail, Vince Lombardi, sorry, frozen tundra, that's what we get. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. If we don't practice perfectly, we're not going to perform perfectly. Why do we even use filler words like and When we're talking with someone, we want to keep their attention. And most people, they use the filler words because they feel uncomfortable with silence. There is a natural fear that by staying silent, people will lose attention. The good news is that you can turn this weakness into a strength by replacing your fillers with pauses. Embrace the pause. Despite how it may feel at first, well-placed pauses make you sound calm, collected, and they can help in 3 different ways. Number 1, it helps you to collect your thoughts. If you lose your train of thought, a pause gives you time to get back on track. As long as that pause isn't too long, no more than 5 seconds, your audience will not hold it against you. Number 2, it can help calm your nerves. Taking a pause before starting a speech is especially important for people with a fear of public speaking. It helps calm the nerves. This tactic is also useful in the middle of a speech. If you find yourself getting flustered, take that brief pause, take a deep breath, just don't make it completely obvious and audible to your audience, and just reset yourself. And number 3, using pauses can help build suspense. Pauses are not always a defensive tactic. Strategically placed silence can build suspense, emphasize a point, or give the audience time to absorb a key insight that you just shared. Like filler words, pauses give you a chance to take a break and figure out what comes next. A pause makes you sound confident and in control, whereas the overused filler words are distracting and make you sound as if you don't know what to say. Speak up. Speak up, but not the ahs and the ers and the buts. It might sound unusual or straightforward enough, but make sure when you are in a room, you are speaking loud enough for everyone to hear you. Enunciate. I always tell my husband, I don't yell, I enunciate, because I want my message to reach everyone in the room. The added benefit, by speaking as little as 20% louder than normal, you'll reduce the amount of filler words you tend to use. Why is that? It's difficult to say ah or with this higher than normal tone. It may sound a little strange to do, but it will sound perfectly normal to your audience. Used sparingly and effectively, filler words can make you more relatable to your audience. It can give you time to catch your breath and emphasize key points. That's why Google built fillers into their latest version of its AI assistant Duplex. But when those filler words become crutch words used out of nervousness and lack of preparation, they hurt your credibility. As you prepare for your next presentation, identify the words that you lean on most and train yourself to avoid them. The next time you're in front of an audience, use silence to gather your thoughts rather than filling the air with sound. And perhaps the most tried and true method to sound more intelligent, more polished when you speak is to slow down. Speak more slowly and deliberately. This means taking time to think before you speak and developing a pace that doesn't force you to use filler words to help your brain catch up to your mouth. I hope you gained a few new ideas to improve your credibility today as a speaker, as a communicator, as a leader. Let today be the start of something new as you become more aware of your use of filler words and begin to embrace the pause as you speak. If you are interested in the sources for this presentation, I do have those here as well. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.